Implantable pumps historically have had a drive line or a wire coming out the side of the body to provide the electricity to run the pump. Having a percutaneous drive line or a wire is a pretty heavy thing to live with. And so this recent CHF funding is to develop the electronic control system into an implantable form factor, really for patient quality of life so that people can shower, they can go swimming, they can ride their bikes, take a walk and not be tethered. Um, and that's the vision, and the CHF funding is going to help us with those initial steps. I have come back to CHF and to give an example for my work on the Fontan pump. There are aspects of the pump that require electronics to control it. And, my NIH grant really is focused on, the mechanics of the pump, which is appropriate. The main focus is the pump itself, but the electronics and drive system were not budgeted in that grant. And the most recent CHF funding is going to help us to move that forward. Those things combined then basically, move this closer to patients. And I can do research forever, but if I don't get it to patients, it's not relevant. So the the CHF funding will be instrumental to help us to make this technology interesting for someday for investors to commercialize the technology to get it to patients. I have seen a lot of change, and I would say probably most of it's been, what you would call incremental improvement in survival and quality of life and that kind of thing. One thing that we doctors are seeing more of that hasn't existed before in the history of the world are adult survivors who've had their surgeries as children in maybe the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and are now, into adulthood. And honestly, for the first time in the history of medicine, those patients, otherwise would not have made it to adulthood. So the book hasn't been written yet, or it's currently being written. That issue is a big driver, behind my work with the Fontan pump and Fontan patients into adulthood. Is actually a significant population. Now about as big as the cystic fibrosis population, which everybody's heard of cystic fibrosis. Not everybody's heard of congenital heart disease or single ventricle heart disease. So anyway, those are big shifts, and people like me are responding to needs, that patients have years or decades after their prior surgery.